going on? Eric here with Switch Adapted Toys, and today I'm going to be showing you how to switch adapt these sliding track toys. Now, these toys kind of come in a lot of form factors. Oftentimes you'll see them like a penguin slide, but they're all pretty much the same. You should be able to kind of use this video to adapt probably most, if not all, of those sliding track toys. You might need to vary it up just a little bit, but the basics should be pretty similar. And what I mean by switch adapt is that we're going to basically rewire this toy so that it can be operated using an external button or switch, which allows a child with limited motor capabilities to be able to play and interact with the toy. And something like this is great for learning things like cause and effect and just plain having fun. So if you are new to Switch Adapted Toys, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and our mission is to make play possible for kiddos of all abilities. We do that by creating how-to videos like this one. We've got files to 3D print your own Switch button and a bunch of just resources on our website, and that's www.switchtoys.org. All right, so before we get started, if you like this video, if you find it helpful, make sure you hit the like button and hit subscribe and share it with people that you might know that might need an adapted toy. It really does help us out in a huge way, so thank you in advance for doing that. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into it. The first thing that we're gonna do is, on this one, there's like this little bridge section here, and we kind of need to disconnect that so that we can separate the two halves of the toy. Now we just need to unscrew all of the screws. All right, so I've got all the screws removed on this side. There is one more screw on this toy that's on the opposite side that I need to remove. All right, so with all those screws removed and this little bridge section removed, we should be able to separate the two halves of the toy. And while this toy is a little bit of a mess with all these wires in here, down here there are two screws that hold the switch in place that we need to remove. Now these screws are slightly smaller, so just make sure that you keep them set aside and don't get them mixed up. All right, so now you've got kind of a choice to make. This toy, the Switch, has three positions. There's off, there's run just the motors and the light, like this. And if you flip it all the way over, you get the lights, the motor, and some sound. So you kind of need to decide now what you want to adapt. If you just want the lights and the motors to run, you're going to solder your headphone jack wires to these 2 points right here. Basically the middle point and this outside point. Forget about this little one off to the side. We're just talking about these 3 points right here. You're going to solder the middle point and the left-hand side if you're holding the Switch like I'm holding it right now. And if you want all three things to go on at the same time, we're going to need a little bit of a jumper cable to basically connect the two outside points together, and then we can solder our headphone jack wires to the middle point and one of the outside points. That will basically operate all the components of the toy at the same time whenever you press the button. Now you might be wondering, well, why don't you just splice the power cable and just you can leave the toy on in the position? That totally works, but what happens is you can no longer operate the toy without the Switch. So by doing it this way, you kind of limit what it can do to one thing, but you can turn the toy on and off using the Switch as well as the external button. Hopefully that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you how to do the jumper wire and how to do everything all at once. But again, if you just wanted the motors and the lights, you're going to connect it to the middle point and the left-hand point if you're holding the Switch like I am right now. All right, so before we solder anything, we need to drill a hole so that we can get our headphone jack wire into the toy. So where I'm going to do that is I'm on the battery compartment side, right here, kind of in this area. I'm going to drill my hole. There's plenty of room in there. And then I can fish my headphone jack wire through the hole. You got to do that first or else you'll be stuck without not being able to close it up. So get a drill bit that's the same diameter of your headphone jack and drill a hole right through the side of the case. All right, now that I've got that hole drilled, I can fish my headphone jack wire through the hole. All right, so we need a little bit of wire. You could buy wire, or you could probably salvage it off of another toy. You don't need a whole lot. You just need enough to connect those 2 points. So I'm going to take this wire here, and I'm going to strip down the casing on both ends. All right, so now we're getting close to being able to solder. One thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to connect one of my headphone jack wires to this jumper wire, and this jumper wire and headphone jack wire are going to have to be soldered to the switch. Just to make it a little bit easier on myself, I'm going to like kind of pre-solder my headphone jack wire and my jumper wire together. Just one of the wires from each will need to be soldered together. But this headphone jack came pre-tinned, so there's a little bit of solder on the tips, which makes it kind of hard to twist together. So I'm just going to snip that end off of one of my wires, and I'm going to strip it back so I've got the exposed bare wire. And now I can twist my jumper cable and my headphone jack wire together. And now I've got those twisted, I'm going to just solder them together. And this is a little bit long, so I'm just going to kind of snip off the end because I don't really need it to be that long. Just like that. And since my other end of my jumper cable is also just bare wires, I'm going to go ahead and get some solder on the end of it. That'll just make it easier when I go to solder it to the switch. There you go. And lastly, my headphone jack wire, I'm going to just get a little bit of extra solder on it. Again, it just makes it easier when I solder it to the switch. Do I sound redundant? All right, so I'm going to try to explain this a little bit more just so you have a perfect understanding of what we're doing here. I've got my jumper cable going from one of my headphone jack wires, and those jumper cables are going to go on the outside leads. Imagine that there's leads here. And then my other headphone jack wire is going to go to the middle lead. So all I need to do now is solder all these wires to the switch. Now, when you do that, sometimes you can knock off the wires that are already on the switch if you heat it up too much. If that happens, just make sure that you solder them back on and you get the wires where they were, and you should be fine. So you can see that that wire just popped off really easily. So I'm just going to go ahead and get my first wire attached, and then I'll resolder it back on there. And you give your wire a little bit of a tug and just make sure that it's secure. And now I'm going to do my jumper cable wire and my headphone jack wire. It doesn't have to look pretty as long as it's connected and metal's touching metal. And you don't have like solder crossing from one of the points to the other, you'll be fine. And now I'm just going to solder my jumper wire on. Just like that. Now, I was getting ready to test it, and I just realized I accidentally knocked off one of the other wires. So I'm going to get that solder back on. All right, so now that everything is soldered, let's plug in a button and just test it and make sure that it works. There we go. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to prevent somebody from being able to yank this cord and just disconnect everything. So what I like to do is I like to put a zip tie around the wire on the inside of the toy. And that zip tie will basically act like a barrier that won't be able to fit through the hole that we drilled, so that if they pull on it, it'll hit the zip tie and it won't strain our connections. So I'm just going to put the zip tie around here. You just want to make sure you're putting it in a place that it's actually going to engage with the side of the toy before it actually pulls on the connections. And you can go ahead and snip off the extra zip tie. And for a little bit of extra security, I like to add some CA glue or super glue around that zip tie just to kind of lock it into place. And if you have some, you can use some activator spray. and that'll basically instantly dry that super glue. All right, so this is kind of a mess of wires now, but we can go ahead and reinstall our switch. And just remember that it's the really small screws that we removed from the switch. All right, now we can kind of pull out the extra slack. Make sure we're not going to pinch any of these wires. It just kind of looked like they were bunched in here. There was no real rhyme or reason to where these wires went. You just want to make sure that you're not going to be pinching any when you go to close it back up. All right, now we got it closed back up. I got kind of the bridge part back on. Just need to screw everything back in. And don't forget about that one screw on the other side. All right, so I've got everything put together. I've got our 3D printed switch button plugged in. Let's just make sure that it still works. There we go. So if you liked this video or if you found it helpful, make sure you hit the like button and hit subscribe to stay up to date on all our latest videos. Again, Switch Adapted Toys is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and our mission is to make play possible for kiddos of all abilities. If you want to find out more about Switch Adapted Toys or get access to our resources, check out our website, www.switchtoys.org. All of our resources are completely free. And I want to take a second and say thank you to all of our supporters and all of our donors that are out there. We really can't do this work without your support, so from the bottom of our heart, thank you. Lastly, if you're interested in a Switch Adapted toy, but doing it yourself isn't your thing, we try to make these resources as user-friendly as possible, but for some people, they might just want to have the pre-adapted toy and not have to go through the hassle of doing it themselves. We totally get that. That's why we sell some pre-adapted toys on our website. We also sell our 3D printed switch buttons. We also sell the cords and the cables and the headphone jacks. Everything that you need to adapt toys is on there as well. So if that's something that you're in the need of, check out our website, again, www.switchtoys.org. All right, well, I guess that's it. I'm Eric with Switch Adapted Toys, and we'll see you next time.
Switch Adapted Toys, making play possible.